It's kind of a special thing because it means that the work that I've put a lot of effort into has the potential to, gain some credit.
As C-SPAN's annual StudentCam competition draws to a close, we reflect on Blair students' journey to answer the 2019 theme, "What does it mean to be American?" by explaining how either a constitutional right, national characteristic, or historic event defines the American experience.
My documentary is about the inaccessibility to voting, and the message we're trying to send is that although many people believe that everyone should vote no matter what, there are a lot more obstacles than people usually think of.
So our documentary is about private prisons and the mass incarceration problem that's happening in the U.S., that the historical parts about that, and then how it impacts communities of color today.
So we're doing a documentary about the global gag rule, which is a policy that most people do not know about. So really we want to educate people and make sure they know about this policy because it affects so many women.
I am making a documentary about youth voter apathy in the United States. I believe it's a really important principle and foundation of democracy.
My documentary is about kind of the history of political slogans in the United States and what impact they have. And how they kind of define the American experience.
So my documentary is called The People of America, and it's about Silver Spring and immigration stories. I don't know, I worked on the documentary since last summer, since when the theme came out, and I immediately thought, oh, immigration. Immigration is a huge part of American history and American culture and what really defines America, so I thought that would be a good prompt. And at first, I wanted it to be very political and very about what's happening right now with DACA and asylum claims and the border with Mexico and all of that. But all of that just made me really sad. Going through the news and seeing all of this political conflict instead of any compromise. So I was you know what, I want to make this a more positive documentary and not a very negative one.
Before students get to the finished product of an impactful documentary, there are some challenges groups face along the way. Problems could be a lack of interviews, trouble finding C-SPAN clips, change in documentary direction, and more.
I'm not good with people. Interviewing, asking people to do things is not something that is my strong suit. We emailed these people and they gave us, we got some high profile interviews just by asking.
Right now we have a week left and we're very crushed on time.
Oh, one thing that I would have done differently is, so for our documentary, as private prison is very, of course, a private thing, there was nobody from a corporation who wanted to talk to us, so we didn't have that many sides of the same argument. We pretty much had kind of a biased documentary. We had those three sources, but they were all pretty biased, and we didn't have any information that was coming from a prison corporation, as they don't want to talk to journalists and would not like to talk to us.
B-roll, we couldn't find any B-roll because our topic was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a weird topic, so we couldn't find B-roll that fits what we wanted.
Despite these challenges, Blair students overcame them, produced incredible documentaries, and learned invaluable lessons about filmmaking.
I have learned how to properly interview people, how to properly edit, how to make a vision that we have flow onto the editing and onto Final Cut.
At the end of these past several weeks of working on C-SPAN every day in school, working on the project at home, students coming into school on the weekends, and stress and obstacles, we've submitted several documentaries into the StudentCam competition that showcase our definitions of the American experience.
I feel this is the highlight of my high school career, I guess, and all the documentaries I've made throughout high school, because it's my senior year and I'm leaving, and this is my last chance to compete for C-SPAN, and I'm really proud of what I've made.
I'm really proud of what we made. I'm really happy with the C-SPAN clips we found and the B-roll, and our script is really good, and I'm just happy overall with that.
I am pretty proud of our documentary. We've spent a lot of time on it.
Putting it all together and making this piece, it's really powerful, and it just it hits you harder than I thought it would have. I'm very proud of what we've made so far.
Working on this project, I was opened up to a whole bunch of different opportunities and parts of history that I didn't know anything about before.
Not only can StudentCam be a good learning opportunity for the students, but it's a great experience for teachers as well.
So I think one thing I like about C-SPAN and one thing I like about this as a teacher is that the most important part of this project isn't the technical aspects, it's the content. So the technical issues in the filming and the mics and the cameras and all that and the editing, that's important also, but I like that the main thing in this project is the content. What is it that you've researched, who have you interviewed, and how can you take all that and put it together in some kind of cohesive way that really makes sense and helps you express what it is that you're trying to say. And it gets stressful down the stretch, just making sure that everyone is tying everything together and that we get the film submitted on time. But I would argue that any of the stress that you see is outweighed by the value when you start to see the films come together and you start to see the students being really proud of what they've made.
It means that we got to spread and we got to talk about what we believe in and kind of show that we are, although we are young, we are involved with what's going on today and that we do have these ideas on how to fix them.
It's really valuable for young people to show this creative voice.
It's definitely a fun process to be a part of, and you're really enlightening yourself and trying to enlighten the world as well.
As much as I would like winning, I'm not going to say that, but I think what's more important is the story I told with my documentary.